Pravin. I'm the product manager for Projectors for Epson India. It's a terrible thing to be the speaker before lunch, especially when it's going to be at 2:30, right? So now, we're basically a Japanese company. We do a lot of things: printers, projectors, robotics, scanners, and a few other industrial things as well. So we put up a small stall over here where we've shown a few projectors which can be used in schools besides a lot of other places. So this is what I plan to cover in my presentation. So what you're going to get is a very express version of that. Okay, 80% of what I wanted to say is pure advocacy. We feel that every time when people make choices when they are buying multimedia tools, especially projectors, there's some kind of knowledge gap which people encounter. The last 20% is, of course, unabashed publicity about what we have, right? Okay, so basic things, because people say your projectors, you have LCD projectors, DLP projectors, or LED projectors. That's a bit of a misnomer. Whatever you choose to buy, any brand, OEM, whatever it is, any projector has three things. It has a light source, it has something, a color separation element, and an image formation element. Your light source can be a lamp. Lamp projectors are pretty cheap. Or it has a laser diode for a light source, or it uses LEDs. Laser projectors are expensive, lamp projectors are not so expensive. And all these light sources, whether it's a lamp or a laser or a LED, just produces white light. And that white light is separated into red, green, and blue primary colors using either a color wheel or using dichroic mirrors, which is just a filter. Okay? And when we separate them into red, green, and blue colors, we're still left with the job of forming an image. And that's where people use 3 LCD panels mounted on a prism or a DMD chip, a digital micro mirror chip, which is called a DLP chip as well, right? So basically what happens? At the end of the day, you see here, there's a lamp producing white light. It's going through dichroic mirrors, which split them into red, green, and blue colors, which are converging on 3 LCD panels on a prism, which form an image, which are thrown on the screen. And likewise, use a lamp, pass it through a color wheel, separate the colors, put it on a DMD chip, and reflect it off the chip, and magnify it and put it on the screen. Okay? So basic idea is this: when you're looking at buying a projector for your school or college or institution, what is the source? Because lamp-based projectors will last for 5,000 to maybe 8,000 or 10,000 hours. Laser-based projectors will last you for 20,000 hours, right? So, but lamps are cheaper. Lasers are more expensive. You need to look at how much money you want to spend, what purpose you're using it for, and then pick. So that's basics, right? Look for what's the light source, what's your color separation, what's your image formation. Okay, second thing. Any projector when you buy, people say this is the brightness of our projector. They say 3,000 ANSI lumens or 5,000 lumens or whatever. Now, there are a couple of bodies. You see these guys? They're called the International Committee for Display Metrology, and there is also another body called the Society for International Display. They're supposed to have a chapter in Mumbai. Now, these guys publish a standard, an international display measurement standard, which says that if you're a guy making projectors, when you measure the brightness of your device, you follow the method prescribed by us. And the IDMS says any projector has 2 brightness values. One is called the color brightness, the other is called the white brightness. When you buy a projector, please check what is the white brightness of this projector and what is the color brightness of this projector. The reason for that, you see here, right? There are 2 projectors. The vendors or the suppliers are telling you these are 3,000 lumen projectors, okay? And the white brightness of this and the second projector are both 3,000 lumens. But when you look at the color brightness, you'll find that one has 3,000 lumens and the other one is only a third of that, about 1,000 lumens or so. As a result of which, you will find that there is a difference in the color output. You're paying for 3,000 lumens, you get only 1,000 lumens of color. So our suggestion is, it's basically advocacy. It's not something unique to us. A lot of people have this and some people don't. So when you choose your projector, check what is the white brightness of this projector, what's the color brightness of this projector, okay? The third thing, Now, the primary function of any display, whether it's a projected image on a screen or a flat panel or anything, is that it should be visible to the person sitting in the last row. If that is not, then it's dysfunctional. You have created an imaging system or a display which is not serving its purpose. Okay? Can you have the video file, please? So there's a very 2.5-minute video file that illustrates this to you. Okay, so what we were trying to say by that video was very simply this. Whatever is the height of the image you're putting up in your classroom, right? The child or the student should be sitting at a distance which is 4 times the height to 6 times the height. If you want the child to engage with the content which is there on the screen, beyond that, engagement will not be possible unless you're playing a passive movie file where you don't expect the student or the child to engage with what is the content which is displayed over there, right? So that's the idea of the 4-6-8 rule. Whenever you put up an image, whatever is the height of that image, 4 times that height to 6 times that height is where the last kid should be sitting. If you put it beyond that, you are not going to get that kid to participate in what's happening over there, right? That's the point, okay? Second thing, how do people decide what is the correct image size in a classroom? Okay, so use the 4-6-8 rule. Look at where the last row is. You arrive at the height. You multiply that height by 1.33 or 1.66. You will get whatever should be the width of the image, right? You take that area in feet, multiply it by a factor of 10 or 20, depending on how bright your classroom is. Multiply that by 5, you will get either 3,000 lumens or 4,000 or 5,000 lumens, which is the brightness required in the projector. That's how you arrive at the brightness. You don't arbitrarily choose a brightness. I'm not going into details here, but if you come by our stall, we can always assist you with this stuff. Okay, so This is like our industry friends from BenQ also said about ultra short throw interactive projectors, okay? Just 3 reasons. I'm not talking about why you should have projectors in the classroom. Why ultra short throw interactive projectors, okay? Number 1, when you use conventional projectors, you'll find that the shadows are falling on the board when the teacher or the student is there. Whereas when you use ultra short throw projectors, you don't have the shadows falling on the board. Second thing, when you use conventionally ceiling mounted projectors, the light from the projector will be falling on the teacher's eyes or the student's eyes. Okay, computer vision syndrome is mostly limited to LCD monitors, okay? But if you use an ultra short throw projector, that strain is not there. Thirdly, the average height of teachers are going to range from 5 feet 10 inches to 5 feet 2 inches, mostly in the classroom, okay? You're going to keep the screen or the image at a height of 3 feet from the ground, okay? And when I raise my finger up, I'm not going to exceed 7.5 to 8 feet, right? So when you're looking at interactive projectors, you need to interact on the screen. 3 feet clearance from the ground for the image and a height of 5 feet. Beyond that, if you try to look for something interactive, it's not going to help because you are not going to interact on that screen, right? So the reason why most manufacturers offer an interactive projector which is only 100-inch diagonal is because of this reason. You don't need anything more than that if you want to interact. You can have a bigger screen, but for interactivity, the height from the ground on top of the image should not cross 8 feet. Okay, so the publicity part. So what have we got? We got a lot of projectors. We sell a lot of projectors. Okay, in India this year, I think probably India will sell about 2.8 lakh projectors, and close to 1 lakh of that will be sold by Epson or, bought by folks over here. So for the classroom, we strongly recommend the ultra short throw interactive and what is known as the short throw interactive projectors, both of which are visible in our stall, available there. This is just the indicative MRP, for you to have an idea of the cost. This is the basic one, okay? A lot of these are purchased by government projects, in various states. Okay, this happens everywhere. The basic multimedia projector to get started with, no interactivity, nothing. This is for auditoriums, okay? In as little as, maybe 4 feet from the screen, you can have a 200-inch diagonal. Okay, so that brings me to the end of all the things I wanted to share with you, even though this is an express edition. And the last thing is this. See, the technology evolution is inevitable, and everyone here recognizes that, okay? I'm not sure whether adoption of technology is really a choice any longer for it, but it's a good one to make, okay? But how we adapt to it, the maximum failure that we see in technological adoption, especially in education, is in the adaptation part of it on both ends. And that is a real art, all right? So thank you very much for time. Have a lovely afternoon.